Probably has over this. I'm gonna turn the air compressor on. I'm gonna turn y'all around towards the paint booth because that back light over there for some reason has got the jitters. We moved y'all over here to a more friendly location. The natives are getting restless on that side of the shop. All your header bolts have to be a pain. Can't get to none with a wrench. I mean with a socket. Yeah, as I suspected while y'all were being moved, I blew this off with air hose and it blew paint up under it. And the motor that was in this car was black, but it would come from Summit Racing. So it was black from Summit Racing. Oh yeah, that is not the motor that was in this car. That one's got some miles on it. So, I might have to go just a wee bit further than what I was expecting. I'm not going to totally rebuild it, but we'll freshen it up a good bit. That and the plug wire holders are on the bottom of the heads. So that's a dead giveaway that it come out of a vehicle with either ram horn manifolds, which means the manifolds go over the top of the spark plug wires. I mean, the top of the spark plugs, the spark plug wires go below them. Yeah, I think what we got here is a good over wore out 350. Make it to see what our machine shop man's about. Got oil in this valves. Just so happens that all the motors and all we built, we got parts everywhere, so it ain't like we got to go. But as far as like I told y'all about building something in your backyard, this is one of the downfalls to it. You never know what you're going to get. At least they did put a new set of plugs in them, but they didn't gap none of them. That there's about slam shut. And that's another thing, when you go to the parts store, and you buy spark plugs, always check your gaps. Got a chrome oil pan on it, so somebody had to take the time to take the oil pan that was on the other motor because it was chrome and put on this one. Crystal clear oil, right? It ain't gonna blow head gaskets. That's a good thing. It's full of mud though. Good thing about painting body shops, you always got these plastic cups laying around somewhere. Always. Sometimes you got more than you want. That's a brand new impact wrench. It's bad to the bone. I already have one. I had Snap-on impact wrenches. All of them started giving trouble. Went by the Snap-on man, since I ain't paying him $1,000 a week, he didn't want nothing to do with me. So we just went to Harbor North Freight and bought a $99 one. Yeah, I think this is just full of water. Full of rusty water at that. So maybe the frill ain't as bad as I thought it was. I had to get a light down, look down in the cylinder holes, but
Still think it's a good thing that we're tearing it down.
oh yeah, it's definitely a good thing we're turning it down. You see the rust in the bottom of the block and the mud. It's like filled it up in a creek bed. And there got white stuff inside it. I don't even know what it is. Yeah. You can't see it from where you're at. Just take our word for it. The brown stuff you see on the ground is what inside the block looks like. And you can see the raw block right there. So somebody built the motor and painted it blue. It looks like a Ford blue at that. And then at some point in time, They got painted black. But no worries, we'll get taken care of. Well, the camera didn't beep until y'all had left, but y'all had left for a little while. So, I don't know what y'all got, but thus far, we took Moly lube and lubed the camshaft and all the lubes and stuck the camshaft in. So, once you pass through that procedure, once you get a camera that'll stay on, you ain't got to worry about what you did and what you didn't do. Anyhow, okay. The lifters have been soaking in oil, right here. But even though they're soaking in oil, like I said, you're going to want to put a diaper up under your motor because it's going to drop out some fluids. I always take just your STP oil treatment because I'm leaving the oil pan off this thing to spray it. So that's the reason I'm not putting the oil pan on right yet if you have any questions. That's your answer.
No question.
I don't want no answers, no questions from you. Okay.
How rude.
You just take it and dip it down in your STP and you pop it down in the hole where it belongs. You might want to bring the camera over here for this, that way they can get some action.
If you like.
I can't move because I'm stuck to the floor. Let's say just sticky. You lift it down in the STP. It's already going to be soaked in oil because it's soaking in oil. But I always like to just give it a little bit extra stickiness. That way it knows it's been at least paid attention to. And you hadn't wasted this STP that's running back in this barrel right here, this bucket. My hands was clean before I cooked y'all this cake, so I'm just going to pour this oil in this motor whenever we get done. So, there's nothing wasted, except for this that's running down the backside of the bottle over here and in the floor and everywhere else. That could be wasted. Alright, all of our push rods have been submerged in gasoline. So when you pull them out, you should have a stream of gas come out of them. And then you dry them off. And what I'm fixing to do next, I'm probably going to get criticized for it, but this is how I've always done it. You take your lips and
Don't do it.
blow through the thing, and if air goes through, it ain't stopped up.
That's disgusting. I'm your first critic.
First critic.
Good thing you don't smoke.
Yeah. Good thing I don't even flicker no more.
No, but these lights do.
I know that's true. Nut.
Yes, you are.
Make sure that the taper goes upwards. It's not a lug nut, so it don't have to seat down in the wheel. That's actually the lock to it. Rocker arm.
Number 2.
Number 2. And there again, you want to make sure all those bushings move up and down. That one there had resistance at the threads, but now it's free. But we got to run somewhere, so I ain't going to be able to adjust these right now. So when we come back, if the camera's willing, I'll show you how to adjust them. If the camera's got different ideas, then they may just be adjusted when you come back. In the meanwhile, we'll go ahead and change the oil in this thing and rotate the microphone, and the belt must be off the alternator because it just ain't charging worth crap.
Alright. Till next time.
Till next time. There again, appreciate the 400 subscribers we have. This motor is discolored and the water jacket is full of rust. And I was wondering why that situation had taken place. And the reality of it is, I think this was a boat motor. Therefore, there's no antifreeze ran in the system, it's just lake water. And since there's nothing to treat the metal in the block, you get what this motor's got in it, which is just rusty mud. Like I said, the guy I got the car from, well, the guy's son I got the car from, the guy passed away. So I ain't no asking him no questions. Alright. Now you can see I tightened it up and nothing poked out the sides except for the gasket itself. If you took and crammed that full of gasket maker, you'd have had the gasket maker sticking all out the edges of it. They had lock washers in stock. We lucked out. Oh, one particular part we forgot. We didn't put thread seal on the front and back bolts going in the water jackets.
Now, how could you forget that?
What'd you do with this stuff?
It's right here. I knew you would need it again, so I didn't put it back. Yeah.
I'm glad you looked out for me.
I know.
Alright, there again. The two front bolts and the back bolts, the back front bolts, yeah.
The back front bolts?
The two front bolts and the back. These bolts on each end and the threader tape on them, yeah. You know, the doctor used to say that people pay good money to feel this way, and damn, I just don't see where it's worth it. If I can't get my crap together, I just feel like Paramount Pictures back lot reduction.
And ours just happens naturally. It's just old age.
Yeah. Anti-creppinism creeping in. Anyhow, those bolts there, they go into the water jacket, so if you don't have them thread sealed, they'll leak. Guaranteed. Or your money back. That's another thing with these chrome water necks. I'm going to take them two bolts out and seal them. If you don't put thread seal around them, I don't care how much gasket maker you put around them, they're going to leak water. And there again, that's chrome. So you got to put a heavy etch on the bottom of it so that it'll hold the glue. If you don't etch the bottom of the housing, it won't accept the glue, so you haven't accomplished nothing by, you can put a tube and a half of gasket maker on it and you ain't accomplished nothing. But anything that passes through into the water galley, if you're messing with it, it's best to go ahead and do this. Anybody out there knows where a decent sedan is, I would like to have a sedan. Because my problem is, with all these little coupe cars, I'm so tall, or once I get in them, it's all me. She has to ride in the trunk. So I'm going to put a rumble seat so she'll have somewhere to sit. Hey, I see a little red light flashing. That means we're fixing to lose y'all. There's two red lights. That means the memories are fixing to be gone too. That's bad you lose your memory and your heart all at the same time. You're just going to be SOL here in a minute. Okay.
At least you have a red light in you.
Like I said, you start in the middle.
See, so you don't hear the beep. Well, if there's a light flashing, you got to be looking at it because I didn't reset it to hear the notification go off.
I always happen to look at it and I've seen you need to reset it so the notification goes off.
Oh, yeah.
On your bolts that you got your thread tape on, or your thread sealer on, just go ahead and run them down. Don't snug them up, just run them down because your thread sealer is going to start to set up. So you want it to set up down in the motor. Thought the intake was cracked there for a minute. You want the thread sealer to sit up in your threads, not sticking out of the top of the motor. So go ahead and run them down. In where all the other paint's coming together.
Sorry about that. Might drop the camera.
I'm gonna take them on a ride down gravel road.
Pretty much.
Like I said, we'll get this mashed up. If it wasn't raining outside. Was the paint booth cold or is it warm?
It was cooler than it is out here. Not that bad. I think it'd be fine.
We this paint booth sucks air from outside. Our old paint booth in the old shop in Georgia, it sucked air from in the shop. I mean, it filtered it, but it lived off of the shop air. So you turn the diesel heater on in the shop, and whatever temperature you got the shop up to is what temperature the paint booth was. Well, this in here breathes from out in the yard. So whatever temperature is out in the yard is what the paint booth is. So I didn't think much about it. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Didn't think much about it, but when you paint a car and then you got the outside temperatures colder than what it is inside, then you got to stabilize it through the curing process. So I said, okay, I'll fix that. So I just turned the oven on because this has a bake oven. Well, we painted that station wagon and got the gas bill of $600 or $700. And it was like, well, okay, you know, it just, that is what it is. We've done it now, it's gone, I ain't got to worry about it. But then that night that we started on this thing, because the station wagon, we had issues with the paint. Because the paint was old. So I had to play with it to make it actually work. To keep from buying another $3,000 in paint. Or $2,000 or whatever it was. Paint primer and everything was about $2 grand that car. So there was no other choice but to use the oven. When we painted the 32 here a while back, I just turned the oven on to flash it in between coats and to cure it. The video you've seen of us untaping it was the same day I painted it. It wasn't about 45 minutes after I painted it, matter of fact, when you seen us untape it. Well, then we got that gas bill and it was $500 and something. So we're weaning off baking anything in that oven. So if the weather ain't pretty outside, we just...
I said, you want me to do that side?
If the weather ain't pretty outside, we just don't spray.
We're back to work on some of the 32 parts today. We've got the headlight covers sanded and he's spraying those burgundy now. We've got the engine all degreased, taped up, primed, and he's going to be painting that today also, so that we can start assembling all this and getting the 32 put back together. He decided to paint the engine with the automotive paint so that it would match the car, so that's what he's doing here. Weather is starting to warm up a little bit here, so maybe by the time we get this all put back together, we'll have some nice weather and get to cruise around in it some. little better. So we're not going to be running the hood on it right now, so that's why we decided to go ahead and paint it, like I said, to match the car. We've had the car stored here in the paint booth since we have painted and cleared it so that it doesn't get any dust on it. So we had to push it outside in the shop in order to get these parts in here. So it's sitting here. The colors look a little darker out here, but the paint booth is a lot brighter than the shop is, so. Once we get these parts finished and dried inside the paint booth, and we'll probably put the car back inside here just to keep it from getting dusty and dirty out here in the shop, or we'll eventually have to get a car cover for it. I think we have one somewhere, we just gotta unpack it. There's the burgundy on, and I think he'll probably clear it next. So we'll be coming back to you with some more video footage soon. Now that the burgundy paint has cured, he is spraying on the clear. See the difference. Spraying that clear on, which it's supposed to do that, but it goes from a flat matte finish to a super shine, which clear fogs up a lot in there, even with the paint booth fans on. Of course, he's going to move on this side and I'll move on that side. And yet again. can't wait to get to go cruise around in this thing, take it to some car shows, and just enjoy it. And yes, he should be wearing a mask, but you see that he's not, so I'm gonna have to get on to him about that. Alright, that's the first coat of clear. It's looking good already.
Alright, we got the motor painted, now we're going to stick it back in the ride. This is always the exciting part.
I don't see anything exciting about it.
Why not? Yeah, jack it up a little bit more. All right, hold on. We'll do that now. I ain't as strong as it once was. I ain't as strong once as it ever was. Alright, you ready? Gunpowder. Alright, hold up. Polishing up the bow covers over here. We'll have them polished here in a little while.
I've got one almost finished.
It's getting there.
And that's one I'm working on. And then that one over there is the one I've got to do, but that's what it looked like before. Unless I knock everything off the tape. And that's the almost finished one. We got all these parts polished up last night, so they look new, but they're not. Just got them all shiny. Hopefully the valve covers will shine it that good. And I've still got to polish the wheels too.
Well, this is the Chevy showing Pigeon Forge. It ain't the Ford show. So we can't take it over there. They'll be running us out of the park.
Yeah, well, that's the first one coming up, but
we can't even take it to the Ford show because it's half and half.
oh gosh, what are we gonna do?
We'll take it to the foreign exchange show. This time we exchange it for a foreign car. Done up all of that.
Good try.
said I hate pneumatic toes, but you know what? You don't feel good, they sure do help out a lot. I think I'm gonna go sit in the massage chair. The camera's about to die, so I'm gonna be there right shortly after. We got some new batteries coming, so maybe we can stay charged a little longer to make y'all some more videos. Probably not.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.